Hello, everybody, and welcome to a spooky episode of the Wildcast. Today we'll be interviewing Immanuel, aka Your Local Bread Boy on Instagram. Hey man, how's everything been?
I'm alright, how you doing?
Good, yeah, I'm doing okay. So, my first question is, when did you start drawing? Like, what inspired your drawing? Like, what animation and artists inspired how you work today?
Well, I've been drawing like for as long as I can remember in it. Even before that, it just kind of faded into my life, just drawing. I don't really know where it came from, but I've been drawing pretty much every day since I was incredibly young in it. Just ever evolving my style on a constant journey, which is good fun. I think one of the things that inspired me the most was kind of like these maybe you could flash some stuff on screen in it later after we're
Sure,
done.
yeah.
Um, there was a show called Trapdoor when I was younger. There was the Bionicle movies, the animated ones. God, there was this weird show called Stop It and Tidy Up, from this creators of Trapdoor. It had just these strange visuals, strange creatures, just such a strange visual style that I feel like that's kind of where it started. Um, that whole kind of weird otherworldly aesthetic that I've always been trying to do in it.
I really actually liked the Bionicle movies. Like, those were part of my childhood as well. I really liked
Yeah,
some of
you
the
know
older
about
ones.
those.
Yeah.
Oh, I rate that.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah, if you've
what
seen those, oh sorry man, if you've seen those in it, you'll know that like you can probably draw a lot of inspiration from there, and you can probably see how it influenced my art style in it. Because not a lot of people know about those movies, but if you do, you'll be able to draw the comparison.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's a lot of, because it's tied with Lego, so it has different parts that you put together. But yeah,
Mm.
no, they do create like really different creatures, especially when it first started out. I mean, towards like most recently, they went on more of the action superhero kind of stuff. But back in
Yeah.
the day, they had some really interesting creatures.
Mm.
So what actually influences the actual creature designs, like the texture and everything?
Well, the actual creatures, anyone who follows me knows that there's a recurring theme of these spiky-headed demons. I was watching, Confinement by Lord Bung, the SCP series.
I know SCP, but I haven't actually watched that series. Might have to give it a watch. Sounds
Oh,
interesting.
it's this neat little animated thing on YouTube about this guy. He can't die; he just respawns instantly. So the SCP Foundation uses him as like a lab rat to interact with other SCPs, learn about them. In the intro, there's a weird silhouette of what looks like a creature with a spike for a head and a diamond eye. And I saw that imagery, and something about it made me. It just sparked with me in it. I started drawing these kind of hominid kind of creatures, humanoid, whatever the word is, giving them kind of spiky heads. And then it just evolved over time because I draw them so often. I draw them in different styles, eventually moving away from the diamond heads and just kind of exploring all different kind of variants, almost like it's natural selection and actual ecosystem of creatures in it with lots of just a lot of different variants.
Yeah, that's quite cool because I remember quite vividly when you used to draw the pyramid characters with
Mm.
pyramid heads. Yeah.
That was a weird time in my life, like around the time you and me went college together. For my art in it, it's just it was a weird time of transition, and I feel like it was very evident in my art that just it we took on such a weird transitionary, if that's the word, kind of like style, where I tried new things out, experimented with medium. It's where I started using professional technology in it to make stuff. So I think that was a major step forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for all of us in the class, when we were practicing new skills, we started to go into different art styles. Like, I started in 3D, doing 3D animation in the
Hmm.
beginning, especially on my YouTube channel. I even used to do like Minecraft animation, but
Yeah.
after the like the second year on level two, it I started on branching into 2D, the stuff I hadn't been using. So to change from 3D to 2D, that was quite a good transition. But I also
The
found,
effect skills, like by the end of it, I remember they were absolutely amazing. Probably gotten way better since. And well, do you remember that footage you made where the lightning struck that building and the camera panned down in it?
yeah, Please Stand By was that project. That was the first project I went into 2D actually, where
Yeah, I thought that was amazing what you'd done in it. Like all the different techniques you'd used. I thought that was absolutely grand.
yeah, it was the first time I actually started using Illustrator, which was quite good for growing my skills in the Adobe suite. And yeah, Illustrator's quite good. It's good at,
Hmm.
making shapes and visual things that,
I only started using it like in my second year of college. So the new college I went to after we parted ways, we had a class like every Wednesday where we'd learn about Illustrator and all the software. But I can see why you use Illustrator because it's really useful. You can do a lot really quickly. It's good.
yeah, I was sort of just, like using my imagination to create those characters, like not even drawing them down, which I probably should have done now that I've thought back to it. But
Hmm.
I just had a bit of a creative explosion. I could just create several characters in a day just to add into this new story I was creating.
Once you've got the tools to actually translate what's in your head into a creative medium, that's where the juices start flowing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is where the juices start flowing. Yeah. So, what kind of artist or animator do you want to aspire to be? Like, who would you like to work for, basically?
Um, that's weird. What I really want to do, ideally, maybe I want to do like installations. So you know when you go to an art gallery, you see like just a room full of different weird sculptures,
Yeah.
stuff hung up. I reckon the pay is good in it, but I also want to showcase it in a professional environment on the streets, you know. Um, I want to try it. The artist I want to aspire to, regarding that first part, I because there was that one guy, I can't remember what his name is. He said, because he was a multimedia kind of artist, and he said, "I'm not an artist. I'm a guy who draws. I'm not a musician. I'm a guy who makes music." And I kind of agree with that because it's like I'm not locked into any one way of creating in it. Like I'm able to create like I feel like I've been doing world building through my animation, my art, and my music in it. Um, but yeah, I've gone into so many different mediums, so many art styles. I put some stuff on clothing because it's like at the end of the day, I wanna just put my name out there, but at the same time, there's this weird feeling. There's a world on the inside, like the void that I'm trying to create, like that whole thing. And it's not just oh look scary spooky creatures in it. It is it is like I'm trying to get across a feeling in it because the void is kind of like almost like a happy place. It's full of these demons, these creatures, um, that are they're vague. They just kind of slink around in the background, if that's the right word. Um,
Yeah, no, I really liked your t-shirt designs actually, and those because I made like one t-shirt design for my old YouTube channel, the oh God, can I even remember it now?
is it
Wizard
not the
Cast Animation or something like that. Yeah,
what was that? What was that?
it was one of my oldest channels on YouTube,
What was it called?
which
What was it called?
Wizard Craft Animation.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember. I remember.
Yeah, very long time since then, but I've managed to rebrand 3 times and land on my favorite one, which is Wild Frame
Yeah, you didn't
Studios
get
now.
there the first time, innit?
Nah, it took a little while, and I actually had to do some searching for it, and I was thinking about it, and it's one of those things when you like stop thinking about it, you could be up at like 12 o'clock, and then you'll get the idea for the name just pop into
Yeah,
your head randomly.
dude. Okay, so a bit about the whole creative process. A lot of my content, I know it comes across as gimmicky sometimes, isn't it? But genuinely, I'm trying to make the audience feel stuff, and the best stuff comes from times where I've stayed up at 4 a.m. Like there are times where I've woken up in the morning, I start drawing, you know, having ideas. Sometimes I wake up and there'll be no ideas in it. I'll feel burnt out all day, and then boom, 4 a.m. I've decided to go sleep. I get an idea. I make something, um, some kind of animated thing with a unique style or something. And there's just like, sometimes I'll make two at 4 a.m. You know what I mean? Like the ideas are transient. Like you can sit down and be like, right, I'm gonna brainstorm everything and come up with something. But sometimes the best things just come out of nowhere, like from dreams. The weird half awake thoughts I get in it. Like I even made a series. Um, there's only like 2 episodes of it so far. They're very, very short. But it's like, do you ever wake up and get these really hazy, half awake, like half baked thoughts right after you've woken up, innit?
Yeah, I've had stuff like that. Although I haven't had it that much, but I have had some crazy, like, creative dreams sometimes when I've either been able to control it or, it's been quite scary actually. I've had some
Lucid
quite
dreaming.
scary dreams. Yeah.
Oh, dude, lucid. That is amazing. Like
Yeah.
for inspiration for art. I had it recently twice in 1 week, and I saw I saw the craziest stuff.
What kind of stuff did you see?
Well, like like liminal spaces, right? Them kind
Yeah.
of those new images I've been using in my backgrounds and my art. The reason they're so dreamlike is because like when I was dreaming, right, I realized everything looked like a liminal space when I was lucid dreaming. I actually like around for the 10 seconds of time I had while I had control before it slipped away, because it's very in and out like that, innit? I looked
Yeah.
around, all the buildings looked flat and textured, like it was a Nintendo 64 Gary's mod render, innit?
Yeah.
And
That's
everything had
good.
a weird kind of hazy aura around it. And when I looked up into the sky, I'd see things just flying through the sky, tons of objects. The only one I remember was it was some kind of like junk pile in the sky shaped like a dog in it or something.
That's very interesting actually.
Yeah, one thing I'll add is like I've noticed that a lot of people dealing with like trauma, mental health issues, or just not the best time in general seem to resonate with my artwork. Um, and I think the reason being is probably because those are things I've struggled with, in it. And I feel like a lot of mental health content is very cutesy wootsy or very kind of bland. Um, sometimes. So I kind of want to convey certain feelings and emotions that are very abstract, that aren't really talked about much in my work. Um, like you know how certain demons will like talk to you in the animations about like weird ideas and strange perspectives on stuff.
Yeah.
I guess that's me through the an art medium, kind of exploring different ideas and thoughts that I've like contemplated on the years. Um, just various, it's like mental mumblings. I don't know. I want to see what people's thoughts are on certain things, because I make stuff not just to show off, but just to see what people would what would their take might be. What would they take away from?
Yeah, that makes sense. So
I
you
like
want to make
to.
like content based on like things for the audience to take away.
Like I want, because do you remember how our old teacher? I won't name him on this interview, obviously, but we all
Yeah,
know we all know he's a bit of
we all know
a.
who he is.
Yeah, only the real OG. But yeah, he said the one thing that stuck with a bit of advice, right, that he gave was you don't just want to make something that people click like on and scroll by. You want something that will like make people stop scrolling for a second, be like, hang on, that's cool, isn't it? That's got me thinking. And then after they've scrolled away, they're thinking about it. It'll have an effect on that. I like that in it, because in a sense, that's like preserving, almost like preserving what you make, part of yourself. content by passing those ideas on to people, innit? And just making something that sticks with someone, um, rather than something that just like once you stop watching it, you don't think about it ever again, innit?
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna spend time watching it, you may as well take something away from it. I mean, if I'm gonna, I seem to have amassed some kind of a following in it here somehow by accident. Um, so I may as well give them something with something with some content, and may as well give them something that they can think about. If they're gonna watch it, it's got to be it's got to be interesting.
Yeah, it's got to catch your eye, and it's got to
Mm,
keep you engaged in the whole thing, and it's got to have some kind of ending point that will either satisfy or leave you on a cliffhanger.
mm. Another thing to add would definitely be that a lot of the artwork itself is inspired by because I've got ADD, attention deficit disorder. Not It's a misleading name for the actual condition, but that's where a lot of the ideas come from. That I can generate the ideas pretty fast on the spot in it and just roll with it and make up as I go along. Like some of my best videos from the middle of quarantine were just funny little things that I made by making up as I went along in it on a loose kind of narrative. And um yeah, I think that's where my the ADD comes out the most in me. It's in my artwork. So it's expressed there, you know what I mean?
Or like the video you did with Chunky Cheese.
Yeah, stuff like that. It just comes to me on the spot and then I generate ideas. Like I'll go into it, the first shot, the first frame, thinking, okay, there's an idea here. Okay, what would the next shot be? Where could I take this? You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes I make stuff. And it's either really short or it goes on for like several minutes because sometimes the ideas just keep coming to me even when it's limited, what I'm working
Yeah. Well, the show's almost over, but is there anything else you'd like to add before it's finished?
with. Yeah, I I guess one thing to say to anyone watching who follows me, thank you for coming in, having a cup of tea and enjoying my weird house of wonders that is my account. Cheers for that. If you haven't gone mentally insane yet watching it, then you know, cheers for that. I appreciate it. Hope
Hmm.
everyone's having a good time because times are rough right now and we could all use a bit of distraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could all use a bit of distraction on social media and all kinds of things, projects. Animation is booming in the pandemic.
Is
There's,
it?
yeah, still everything's going on. Yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear. I'm loving that. Good to hear that
Well,
creatives are doing well.
yeah, everyone's doing well. I mean, there was a couple of like Netflix stuff that was going up that I started
Yeah.
watching that was old and new, and that's really distracted me the past few days.
Mm. I mean, the pandemic's been kind of good for me. Not good as a whole, but like it's been good for me in the sense where it's where I started making money from home. I had all that time to just do commissions back to back, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this spooky episode of the Wildcast. Take care. A new episode coming soon. Goodbye.
Cheers, everyone.